Well, thank you everyone for being here today. Cadets, we very much look forward to welcoming you as our newest class of sworn officers this December. So about 30 years ago, the man standing next to me was standing in your shoes. And after 30 years of exceptional service, he's now standing before us as our chief. So today's announcement is important for every single person who calls Minneapolis home. Over the last 15 months and throughout the entirety of his career, Chief Medaria Arredondo has demonstrated that he can lead with courage, with humility, and with excellence. Chief, I could not be more proud than I am right now to be asking you to serve a full 3-year term as Chief of the Police for the people of Minneapolis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I'm going to talk about you.
Oh.
Chief Arredondo was born in South Minneapolis. He graduated Roosevelt High School and started a career centered on giving back to his community through service as an MPD officer in the 4th Precinct. Our chief isn't just from Minneapolis, he is of Minneapolis. And today he commands respect in City Hall, among our MPD officers, and yes, throughout our entire city. Why? Because he has lived his values. He has built a career worthy of our admiration, and he treats every person whom he meets and whom he serves with dignity and respect they deserve. At every stage of his career, as a patrol officer, as a school resource officer, an inspector, an assistant chief, Medaria Arredondo has made a mark on Minneapolis, and he's never needed much attention for doing so. As a patrol officer in the 4th Precinct, he invested early and often in community. After a shift, he'd head to sporting events or community events to be with young people and neighbors, and all that was off duty. He volunteered for work at Minneapolis Public Housing Authority sites, where he excelled quickly building rapport with some of the most vulnerable among us and the elderly. The point being, a sense of duty never really ends for Medaria Arredondo. He has embraced community at every stage in his career, and the community has embraced him right back. And today, under Chief Arredondo's leadership, the department rests on 3 core pillars: trust, accountability, and professional service. He is making deeper investments in procedural justice and anchoring the work of our MPD in the sanctity of life. From his focus on officer wellness to the partnership we've built working to build a stronger body camera policy, the work is just getting started, and I look forward to making even more progress in the years ahead. There have been and will continue to be challenges, both internal and external, as we move forward. There is no person that I would rather confront those challenges with than Chief Arredondo. So for nearly 3 decades, Chief, you have helped make Minneapolis a place that is safer and a better city. In an interview earlier this year, I said you were the man for the moment. What I should have said is that you are and continue to be the man for Minneapolis. You have truly earned the right to be called our chief, and I cannot tell you how proud I am to appoint you to another 3-year term.
Thank you.
Your Chief Arredondo.
I'd like to start by thanking Mayor Fry for your confidence, support, and trust in me leading the Minneapolis Police Department, our state's largest police agency. I have continued to appreciate and I value our relationship. So thank you very much, Mayor. To lead the exceptionally professional and dedicated men and women, both sworn and civilian, of the MPD as an incredible honor that I do not take for granted. Over this past year of serving as chief, I recognize and have appreciated what the previous 52 chiefs have embraced in both the enormity and the honor of the position that chief carries with it. I am truly humbled to be chief of one of the best and nationally recognized police departments in the country. The MPD continues to provide a high level of professional smart, and strategic service focused on reducing violent crime, and also by letting our data tell our story. We lead the state and are recognized nationally on our crime data transparency to the public we serve, as well as our collaborative approach to reducing the number of our young boys and men committing gun violence. We are also taking a very compassionate and committed outreach with those suffering in our communities from mental illness and those also experiencing homelessness in our city. A little more than a year ago, when I became chief, I was exceedingly proud to lead our department forward with a roadmap that was rooted in both trust, accountability, and professional service. And I'm excited and amazed by the wonderful and professional work that is being delivered every day by our officers, our record staff, investigators, crime prevention specialists, police chaplains, our community service officers, our superb commanders, inspectors, our leadership teams, and our civilians who are doing that great work day in and day out. And through their hard work on behalf of our city, they have to date helped in reducing violent crime year to date by double digits, as well as a double-digit reduction in property crimes citywide. However, even with the significant progress that's been made this year, I'm also aware that for some in our city, there still exists a turmoil of trust with the MPD, and I acknowledge that belief. And we'll continue to redouble our efforts each and every day through every engagement we have with our communities. Yes, our work is never completed. It continues to remain ongoing. The men and women who are standing behind you are dedicating their lives to be the best public servants on behalf of our great city. And actually, one of these folks will probably end up being chief someday. And I'll be very happy to be here when that moment occurs. This roadmap is doing all we can to ensure that we remain good stewards of the public trust. This remains a very honorable and noble calling, and I am humbled for Mayor Fry allowing me the opportunity to serve as chief. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you.